Hey guys, a very overdue video because I was like a half day away from finishing this build and making a video, but I suddenly got sick and I've been sick since then and my voice is still very scuffed, so I'm gonna try to make this video very short. This build actually started as a cast and crit, kill rain cast and crit spark build, but I just was not enjoying the build and it was assassin, so I decided to rework into Atziri's rule staff build. I did Aziri's rule non-crit in the past, but this time is trying to be 100% crit chance, and I'm cheating a bit to reach 100% crit chance, so it is a bit conditional, and when you don't crit it feels pretty bad, but otherwise the damage is kind of alright. This is also Omniscience stacking. Omniscience stacking crit assassin with the Aziri's rule. Also, I'm happy to report that Aziri's rule is not bugged anymore. It may still feel like it is bugged if you get too much cast speed, and the build requires, well, the idea was to have decent clear speed build, not really focusing on single target all that much, and in that part it does kind of succeed. It is a bit on the suspicious side. I did try to get 100%, almost 100% spell suppression. It's a softcore, so it doesn't matter if I die once in a while. Suppression, evasion. I don't really have mitigation per se other than suppression for spells. But attacks can still do a lot of damage to me. Now, this is Omniscience stacking, and I got 1.4k Omniscience, so it's not that much. However, I thought that Omniscience stacking would make a lot of sense for this because it has two elements. One is fire and one is lighting, so it's just easier to scale both. The way the stuff works is you cast a skill which then triggers other skills on rotation, and those other skills that get triggered have a cooldown, and you do not see that cooldown while playing because you just cast a skill that has no cooldown. You're gonna have to like learn by the feel how fast you can cast a skill, because if I just spam the skill and I get too much cast speed, I will start skipping the, well, I will cast, but the both skills will be on cooldown and it's not gonna trigger anything. So in that sense it may feel a bit bad, and early on I was using faster casting until I got enough cast speed later on. But like overall I think the build is pretty successful. I also added Held of Ice just for extra explosions, and held explosions are always nice because you can add any like flavor MTX and make the build feel like different. And besides, Held of Ice explosions, which are also linked with increased crit chance support, when we crit we're also gonna have a higher chance to freeze other enemies. And because I have over 140% penetration, those Held of Ice explosions gonna be pretty strong, and those explosions help quite a bit. Now Atziri's rule also makes you immune to stun, which is also very nice, immune to reflect, which is also very nice, so it's an overall pretty decent stuff. However, like the damage numbers, I kind of cheated a bit, and also you just saw my upcoming bad build. So as I said, you really need to reach 100% crit chance for this to feel decent, and I'm doing that by getting the brittle ground. In the description you will find this build, but I will tidy it up and make it look a bit nicer, I guess, and more organized. Essentially I'm getting brittle ground to get extra crit chance, and I kind of have to walk over enemies quickly, leave the brittle ground, and then try to overlap explosions. Another thing is that I learned that when doing Minotaur run, I didn't notice that I have increased AoE support rather than Conk Effect. And I think actually with Conk Effect obviously would do a lot more damage, but it's a lot harder to overlap explosions. And in the end, while you would have less damage per hit with the increased AoE, but I think with the increased AoE you're gonna have like more consistent damage overall, because you're gonna overlap easier and just hit more. It works for clear speed, and I guess it works for bossing as well. By the way, the staff does not need to be linked because it has its own skill. I would recommend you to watch my older video that shows exactly how the staff like scales, what is better to get faster casting, less duration or stuff like that. But essentially this is also getting less duration. and well, reduce skill effect duration. And by doing that, you can also use Lightning Warp, which is also pretty fast, because Lightning Warp needs less duration and reduced duration, so I'm using that as well. The mana cost can be pretty high with this, and I wanted to reserve a lot of mana, so I just decided to use Life Tap, which isn't the best support gem, but you don't need to worry about your mana sustain at all. However, you do need to make sure that you are hitting enemies and leeching, otherwise you're gonna just drain your life very quickly. But that's not an issue. While clearing enemies, you also get life on kill. So you basically, if you get a hit and lose a lot of HP, and you also kill enemies, you're just immediately gonna return back to full. I also tried using like Val Stormcall and Val Flame Blast. It doesn't seem to be worth using those, so you can just remove those. All my leech, I think, is coming from the gloves, lightning damage, leech of life. You just use those new influence things. I don't remember which one. You just use those influence things to get leech on gloves. And because this is Omniscience stacking, you want like as much attributes, percentage, and flat attributes as possible. You don't need to go overboard. I think it's not wise to just focus on Omniscience stacking, because you're only gonna be getting penetration, and that's only one modifier. You still need to mix like increase damage and create multi and stuff like that, rather than stacking just one multiplier. So yeah, I mean, there's not much else to talk about this build. Like I said, the next build, I crafted 2 pneumatic daggers, probably gonna sell one, but I'm gonna be doing something silly probably and go with the Poison Reckoning, which is probably a terrible idea. It doesn't look very good on paper, but I really wanted to play Reckoning and I just couldn't figure out a decent build, so I guess I'm double dipping on bad idea. If it's not gonna work, then I'm just gonna refund the build into a more normal build, poison build with the pneumatic dagger, and yeah, we'll see. So for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.